Thank you for watching The Relationship Refinery. I'm Asia, here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. In this series, we've been talking about what love is using 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. Today, we're talking about the second part of 1 Corinthians 13, 5. If you haven't already, make sure that you check out the previous 3 videos. And if you have already, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. What are you waiting for? If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure that you leave them in the comment section. Let's go ahead and get started. First Corinthians 13:5 says that love is not easily angered and it keeps no record of wrong. Before we even go any further, I want us to really take a look at our relationship with God. If we are God's children, He is the ultimate parent, right? He is the model for the way that we should parent. How often is He holding things against you? How often is He holding on to our wrongs? Those things do not happen often, if at all, right? He is forgiving us every day for our sins, for the big, for the small, for all of our sins. He is forgiving us. And he is not easily angered. Because I promise you, if he really wanted to get you, he would have been got you. We probably wouldn't even be alive to this day for some of the things that we've done. Some of the promises that we might have made. Some of the times that we were blatantly disrespectful, blatantly disobedient. He would have gotten us a long time ago. And if he is the ultimate father, if he is the model for us, then that means that we need to be doing the same thing for our children. I know that's easier said than done. We are human, but let's break down what it means to not be easily angered and what it means to not keep record wrong. So first, let's take a look at the definition of anger. Anger is a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. I want to reassure you, anger is not a bad emotion. There is no such thing as bad emotions. It's just what you do with the anger that's either good or bad. Keep in mind, I've said this before, but keep in mind, your emotions are yours. That means that you have to do something about it. It's not your child's responsibility to make you happy or your child's responsibility to make you unmad. You have to take that responsibility. And also keep in mind, remember once again, I think I say this in every video, you are modeling behavior for your children. So when you get mad and you want to cuss your child out, or you get mad and you want to whoop them, not because of what they did, but because of your anger, then you're teaching them how to respond to their anger. You're teaching them to get physical when they're angry. You're teaching them to, be verbally abusive whenever they get angry. And that's not good. We are wanting to teach our children how to handle their emotions better. When your child is blatantly disobedient, your anger is valid. When your child lies, your anger is valid. When your child embarrasses you, your anger is valid. Anytime that you feel angry, it is valid. But I want you to take a moment, take a deep breath, and really think about, okay, why am I angry? You might have heard this before, but a lot of therapists will say anger is a secondary emotion. And it's typically true that anger is a secondary emotion. It may be the primary emotion that you're feeling might be embarrassment, but you may be feeling angry that you're embarrassed. Or it may be fear, and you may be feeling angry that you feel fearful. So for example, if your child is acting out in public, you might feel angry because your child is acting out in public and you're actually feeling embarrassed that they are, acting out and making it seem like that you don't know how to raise children. If your child does something that scares you, they're hanging off of some ledge, being little kids, and you're feeling angry about that. It could actually be that you're feeling fearful, that something could happen to your child, but that's leading you to feel angry. One of the things I would encourage you to do is take a deep breath before you respond, before you react, and really assess why are you angry so that you can tackle that issue first. Is it your embarrassment? And once again, remind yourself that your child is not responsible for your embarrassment. And your child is not responsible for your anger either, the anger that you may be experiencing, although valid, once again. And then before you even get into the whooping and the punishment, make sure that you are not doing it out of anger. You should not be responding out of anger. Really think about what is a reasonable response to whatever your child did. Do they need a whooping? Can you talk to them and explain why what they did was wrong? Maybe this is a repetitive action, and so you do need to take some further steps. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against whooping, but I do think that there's a time and a place for it. And I do think a lot of parents overuse it because that was the way that every little thing that you did growing up required a whooping. And so naturally, you parent your children either the same way or very similar ways that you were parented. But I'm telling you to take a step back, Take a breather. If you need to go to a corner or like go to your room or something like that, count to 10. Take a deep breath. Go for a walk or whatever. If you need to pray, do all that before you really figure out what is a proper response to what your child did. Not only is this modeling behavior for your children, once again, teaching them what to do with their anger, but it is also calming you down so that you can make a smart decision, because you don't want to make decisions on the fly when you're not in your right mind. Because when you're angry, you're not in your right mind. Come on now. It's also helping you to, like I said, make the right decision, as well as teaching your children what it is that you're supposed to be doing when you're feeling angry. And also remind yourself that children are new to things. Even your teenager. Your teenager is discovering this whole new world in a different lens from when they were children. And then your children are just learning things. I mean, they've never been on this earth before, and they are discovering what is a boundary. They're discovering, does mom really mean this when she's, or dad, do they really mean this when they say don't do this? You might have to explain things to them. Please don't be afraid to explain why. Kids are curious. Like I said, they are learning things. So it's so important for you to, yes, explain certain things. I'm not saying explain everything, but it's okay for you to explain certain things to your children so that they can know. Remember, love is patient. Understand that your children are going to make mistakes. And understand that whooping, or, especially, I hope you're not really being abusive or punching your children. That's definitely not acceptable, even if that's the way that you were parented. And I came out fine. You probably didn't. There's probably all kinds of things that's going on wrong with you. But, that's a conversation for another day. It's better for you to wait an hour or so for you to calm down and make a smart decision, a well thought out decision, than it is for you to, in the heat of anger, for you to respond in a way that is abusive, that is physically abusive, verbally abusive, that can damage their low self-esteem, that can teach them that when you're angry, you take it out on other people, you make other people responsible for your anger. Yeah, it's just overall better. Like, think about your own parents. Would it have been better if they would have modeled better behavior for you, and would it have been better if they would have taken a breather and then responded, then had a civil conversation with you without cussing you out or without putting hands on you? And maybe you didn't experience that, and good for you. Next is love keeps no record of wrong. Let's look at the definition of forgiveness. To forgive means to stop feeling angry or resentful towards someone of an offense, flaw, or mistake. As I just said, children are going to make mistakes because they're learning new things. You make mistakes when you're an adult, right? Nobody is perfect. So we all make some type of mistakes. And how would you feel if your boss or your parents or, a good friend of yours or your spouse or whoever constantly brought up mistakes that you made? I know you may be feeling like, okay, but I keep telling them not to do this and they keep doing the same thing over and over again. Now I think I would suggest that you need to reassess the way that you are explaining things to them. Or maybe you do need to reassess the way that you're punishing them. People love to believe that whoopings are always the answer. The reason why he acting out is because you ain't put a belt to his butt. That only works for certain kids. It does. Every child is not the same. You cannot punish every child the same way. But even after the offense is over, you have to wipe the slate clean, just like God does us. And you have to give them a second chance. I'm not saying immediately. I'm not saying that your child did something inappropriate on their phone, and so you take their phone for that day and you give them their phone back the next day. I'm not saying that at all. There should be consequences. God gives us consequences, or he allows consequences to happen to us as a result of our behavior, right? But does he forgive us? Yes. He doesn't keep bringing it up. He doesn't say, this is why I don't let you do nothing, 5 months later because of what you did 5 months ago. He doesn't do that. So stop bringing things up to your children when they do something. Like, let it go. Forgive them. And if you have difficulty forgiving, then you definitely need to go to counseling for that. Forgiveness and anger have both been linked to different diseases in the body. When we hold on to anger, when we hold on to unforgiveness, it has, like I said, it's been linked to various diseases. So if you want to live a healthy life, you can drink your water and you can exercise and you can, eat healthy all you want to. But if you are still holding on to anger and you're still holding on to unforgiveness, all of that can be stored within the body. If you don't believe me, do your own research. So to improve your way that you handle anger and your ability to forgive, once again, I encourage you to go to counseling. That really is a great way for you to work through your emotions. Find a great counselor. You can always go to Psychology Today. You can type in your insurance. You can filter it by black, white, someone who speaks Spanish. You can filter it through the type of modality that you like to be like, that you like to go through therapy. Yeah, there's all kinds of things. You can go to therapy for black girls, black men therapy. I don't know. I'll put some resources in or actually I have some videos that talk about how to find therapists. So make sure you check those out. But also I have some journals that I have created to help your children as well as yourself. You can use it as an adult, but it's really specific. It's not even specific for children. I just think it's great for children to help you to journal about your anger as well as your forgiveness. And it has questions in there that'll help you to, like I said, to process your emotions. Because we don't want you taking your anger, your frustration out on your kids. We don't want you holding grudges from your kids and making them feel small. You know, I want you to make sure that you are giving your children second, third, fourth, 11 million chances, just like the Lord gives us. Now, you do have to do it within boundaries. You can't let your children walk all over you. I'm not at all encouraging you to do that. But I don't want you to make them feel like that they can never do anything wrong or like you can never trust them, because you also have to give them second and third opportunities to prove that they learned their lesson. You can't just say, I'm never giving you this opportunity again because you made this one mistake. That's all I have for you today. If you are interested in learning more information about ways to regulate your anger, regulate your unforgiveness, make sure that you please leave a comment in the comment section or check out Psychology Today to find a therapist near you.